Josh Green here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by the new Southern Area Cruiserweight Champion, Mr. John Hedges. How you doing today, John?
Yeah, very well, thanks, Josh. Keeping well, mate. Rested up a few days, and yeah, just enjoying it. Enjoying not having to go to the gym every morning. Do you know what I mean?
I don't blame you at all. Don't blame you at all. But look, Saturday night, a big step in the right direction for you, getting that first title around your waist. So really, really exciting times. Good fight. Happy with how it all turned out?
Yeah, I'm definitely happy because look, I've got the belt. It was, as I said to you beforehand, it was just win at all costs. But I think inevitably that eye clash of heads and things like that didn't do me no favours in the sense that I believe I was going to stop him in the late rounds. Everything was set for me to take him out. It was just the cut happened. I believe it probably come at a good time for Lewis, if anything. Not in sounding disrespectfully, but I feel like he was on the decline and. Yeah, it's a shame how it come across them, but main thing is we're both healthy now, and yeah, it's not that much damage into myself, or I hope not him either.
Did you sort of realise at the time that the head clash is was quite severe and probably could cause a stoppage?
Yeah, do you know what? In my head, I was like, I'm pretty sure he'd carry on, and I didn't really think he caused a massive scene. Like we was having this conversation after. I feel like if you want to carry on, you throw your toys out the pram a little bit. Like you try and get that scene to make sure you can carry on fighting. But maybe it was as bad as what it did come out. And it was one of those things. I think when I see it, I stepped right on the gas as soon as I see the cut because it was kind of like you see blood, it spurs you on. And yeah, I tried getting him out there, but then it was only stopped like 2 seconds later. So yeah, it's one of them things. It's unfortunate for him as well. Obviously, he might have thought he had more to offer, but yeah, it's a shame in that sense. But look, glad I got the win.
Assessing the performance up to then, sort of 6 rounds that it went, what were you happy with, and there anything that you think you could improve on?
I think the main thing I was happy with, look, let's be fair, before this fight, I'd only done 2 rounds in about 13, 14 months. So it's not a lot and very inactive in that sense. So I was a little bit cautious that on the back of my mind. I knew I was fit, but it's still in your back of your mind. You've got an undefeated fighter. You don't know what they can offer. So, yeah, I started quick. The plan was always to start quick, not let him grow in confidence. After the first couple of rounds, I come back to the corner. I said to Mark, I said, "Yeah, he's like not in a cocky way." I said, "It's no stress. Got this in the bag. Know exactly what I'm doing." And I felt like I had his range. He didn't really change his range a lot. Felt like he was punching fresh air. I thought after a few rounds, I thought he might start coming on a bit stronger, and I found it he didn't. So I had a really good third round. Third, I definitely had him hurt. Fourth, I had off. I took a little walk. Didn't really do a lot because the plan was always to take him out later rounds. And then obviously the fifth and the sixth was when the clash of heads come, and it was a matter of time. You hear Tony Bellew on the commentary. I think he called it quite early that it was going to be a clash of heads.
If in your mind, how was it going to play out in those sort of late rounds? What was sort of the plan in your head?
Round 7 or 8 stoppage, 100%. Like, and I'd have said that going into the fight when everyone was asking me. I couldn't really give too much away because I didn't want Lewis finding out what the tactics were. But it was always to set pace. He had never gone past 6 rounds. Set pace, take a little bit of time off in the middle rounds, get my energy back, and then take him out late rounds. And it was all kind of falling into place. Went to plan, if anything, and then unfortunate the cut come. And if you look at the 6th round just before the stoppage, I started really quick. I was as if to say I was looking for the stoppage that round, but it's one of them things. It's life. I'm no injuries. Here to fight another day, and that's the main thing.
How do you think you're settling into that cruiserweight weight now? Because it's been a couple of fights, not that many rounds really, but I mean, how's it all feeling? Is it feeling natural?
Yeah, Phil. Look, I'm a big cruiserweight, and I think I'm realising that even more now when I'm getting in the ring with people because Lewis ain't a small man, 6'3", and I felt towering over him again. If I'm honest, it's just a little bit of muscle definition and just maturity overall. I think like just getting a little bit older, getting a little bit stronger in myself, but definitely filling out into a proper cruiserweight.
Good weekend all round for the
Yeah.
Tibbs gym. Obviously, Johnny getting the job done as well. What did you make of his performance? Short and sweet.
Oh, bloody hell! I was a bit gutted really for both of them in a way because I felt like Johnny would have liked to have showed a bit more for the fans and things like that, but especially for Babbage because he's a very nice man and he's a gentleman outside the ring, and it's just a shame that that can be a bit what's the word, a bit mental destroying. It can really send you into a depression a performance like that. So hope he's all right. I've sent him a message and no reply, but yeah, I hope he's doing okay, and that's the main thing. Like put the boxing aside, mental health's everything. So I hope he's all right in himself.
But for Johnny, a real big statement performance, a real big statement
Yeah,
knockout, and I think people watching on they'll be really impressed with that. What from ringside did you make of it?
definitely. I think like he went out and done exactly what he said he was going to do, and I think we see the size difference even more on the night when they both had their tops off. They're looking at each other in the eyes. That 2.5 stone, if not a little bit more, really was at play. If you know what I mean, people could see that. And yeah, it just shows you how dangerous Johnny is at the heavyweight division. He's a big force to be reckoned with. He just had a fight news announced today. He's fighting next month in Manchester, which is a very good call. Doing over 35 seconds, you might as well use your last camp and go straight into another one. So yeah, I don't blame him for that. And yeah, he's definitely put the division on notice and hope some big fights coming up.
You've obviously been in the gym with Johnny for a long time now. He's sort of been talked to somebody who can probably make it to that English level and that British level, but he's now possibly being talked to somebody who can get to a point. He's still very young where he could possibly challenge for a world title. Have you seen sort of step ups in his progression over the last few months?
Definitely, I think with Johnny, he's always done similar to what I try and do myself. I always try and spar high level fighters. Being in camps with the likes of Hergovic and sparring Fabio Wardley constantly, you can only pick up and you can only learn things. So I think in the sense of who he's sparring, it can definitely put him onto the platform of world stage. Do you know what I mean? But it's look, you've got to take your time. Beating a Babic doesn't get you there, if you know what I mean. But it's definitely a step in the right division. Right, yeah, right way.
Right direction.
Yeah, direction. Sorry.
That's all right. Eddie Hearn mentioned after the fight that a Fabio Wardley or a Fraser Clark, Johnny could beat them now. What do you make of those comments?
I don't disagree with him. I think Johnny definitely could sparring, but I definitely think I've seen a few spars with Fabio, and I heard rumours of sparring with Fraser, and I think Johnny done more than held his own. So he's definitely in the mix, 110%. It's just doing it on the night. And one thing I will say about Fabio and Fraser, they definitely get it right on the night. They perform on the night. They always do turn up. So it's like I say, sparring. So it don't really mean a lot, but Johnny's at that level. He can mix it.
We talked about what's next for Johnny. Next for yourself, I mean, moving on and defending that title or looking towards English level.
Personally, we were just having this discussion. I think I'd like to see what the international route's saying, see what sort of fights are about, any intercontinental fights, continental, whatever it may be, just another belt. I've got my first title now, so that's the confidence up. And yeah, just have a look. If it might make sense to defend it. I'm not really bothered about defending the southern area, if I'm honest with you. It's more just a stepping stone to get to where I want to get to next. But yeah, I think I've got to sit down with management, get a couple of weeks out of the way, get this eye looked at and everything like that, and then yeah, start pushing on.
What sort of the thinking behind going down the international route?
I think I like the international route. The reason I've liked it is because you can then like people like Chev Clark. He fought. Trying to think of the man's name now. Beginning with a D. He boxed a couple of great cruisers. Built very well. I think Chev boxing for the IBF Intercontinental. Um, and people like him, it's always been like a stepping stone, if you know what I mean. I think when you get into them international fights, it puts you onto the world stage a bit quicker, puts you in towards them European titles a bit quicker, and also domestically, there's some very hard fights. So I just think if you pick the correct route for your age, for your ability, and then you give it your best try, and that's exactly what I look to do.
I haven't quite managed to Google it, but I think it was Vasyl Ducar.
Ducat, that's it. Ducat, that's the one. I know I had it in my head. I had Dudak in my head. And I knew it weren't quite that. But yeah, like people like him, Vasyl Ducat was a good fighter, a very big man. But like I say, Chev picked up the IBF off him, and it put Chev in a great place for the British. So I just think there's a lot of different routes you can take. It's just about sitting down and having a look.
Since the last time we spoke, we've made Anthony Joshua versus Daniel Dubois official. We saw what went off in the sort of first face-to-face interviews. I'm sure you've seen all those clips. What did you make of it?
Oh mate, any clip with Daniel having a laugh or getting angry, he's just going to make views in it because he's just got that way to him. But yeah, I think Joshua's always had that same sort of sense. He's about his business, and he is right. He deserves to be respected. But I like that Daniel's not. I think that's good. I think that's. I think if you respect Joshua too much, he's in your head. Kind of like the way Daniel's approached it, and Daniel's dangerous, especially after that Usyk performance. I think he showed a level what no one thought he had. So yeah, he hits like a horse, as I said in a previous interview, and yeah, he's a threat. He's a big threat to Joshua.
Do you think he was disrespectful in any way?
Nah, I don't. I know Daniel because he was in my camp and I done training with him and things like that. And I was with him round him for quite a while, so I just think that is his way. It could be took like that, but nah. If you know Daniel, that's just his way, mate. He's like a big friendly giant.
You've said you've spent a little bit of time in camp with Daniel. I mean, how hard does that man hit?
Look, I've never sparred him properly, and I was saying this the other day. I've never sparred him properly, but we done body sparring when we was that training down the Newlands gym with the Tibbses. But yeah, it's just like that scary power. I don't know how to explain it. It's not so quick, but you still can't really manage to get out of the way of it because he's so long armed. But it's like the way I'd explain it's like a hammer hitting you. It's just like it's pure weight and power. And I think yeah, we've seen it now. We've seen him do it to so many people. He's not ridiculously slow. You normally find when they hit that hard, they slow right down. He's not ridiculously slow. He's still got a bit of speed there. Yeah, he's dangerous. Very dangerous.
If he hits Anthony Joshua with one of those hammers, as you say, does he knock him out?
In 10 ounce gloves, if Dubois connects, he definitely puts any man away. Joshua, Fury, any one of the big names he puts away if he connects. So that goes for a lot of the heavyweight division. But yeah, most definitely.
Little bit of Anthony Joshua news surrounding Carl Froch. I'm sure you saw the messages online exchange between the two. Strange to see a former fighter and a current fighter, two-time world champion, exchanging those sort of messages. What did you make of it?
Yeah, don't really get it. Yeah, just like you just said there, I don't really understand what the point of it was, if I'm honest with you. But get they're all up for their opinions, but still, like you just said there, it don't really when you're both in the same sport and you've both fought yourself, comments are just stupid, aren't they? But look, they're both fighting men. I'm sure it's going to get sorted. I think Anthony Joshua must just think it's irrelevant, though. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just, but I don't know. It's a very sticky situation.
Why do you think Anthony Joshua replied?
See, that's another thing. I just feel like surely he must have a media team behind him to advise him not to just blow that dust over. But I feel like it's his what's his what like his bit of pride. I think his pride must have kicked in or something like that. I don't know, just inside him, and he had to put something back.
Final bit of business. Your stablemate Joe Joyce out in a few weeks,
Yep.
27th, I believe it is, against Derek Chisora. Big fight in the career of Joe Joyce, especially if he wants to be back up at that world scene. What are you expecting from Joyce v Chisora?
For Joyce, it's a must win. He's not going to want to drop back down any lower than Chisora. So it's a must win fight. Like you say, he's got to plummet himself back up. I've already said it. I said it to my management. I still think Chisora brings a lot of threats. I think he brings a lot of danger. And one thing for sure with Derek Chisora is he's going to swing and he's going to give it his all. Joe, as we know, loves getting hit. He's got a great chin, but he does get hit. So that's the thing. But I definitely favour Joe. I think Joe was just that. The engine on Joe should beat the shot Chisora. A great chin and an engine pushes Chisora back, and I believe I wouldn't even be surprised if there is a stoppage in the fight. If I'm honest with you, because like I say, they're both big punchers, and it's gonna start at a high pace. I think it's gonna be a very high pace fight for a heavyweight fight. So yeah, I wouldn't be shocked, but if not, Joe Joyce unanimous points.
Good stuff. Yeah, always a pleasure catching up, John. Enjoy
Cheers, Josh.
your well-deserved time off, and yeah, we'll speak soon, mate.
Thank you, mate. Cheers, mate. Appreciate it.